Hello Game Boys and Game Girls, I'm the Game Boy Guru and welcome to another pickups video. Before I get into my game hunting finds for the day, I thought I would quickly cover just a couple of items that I got in the mail over the last few days, and then we'll get right into stuff I actually picked up today while I was out and about. So first and foremost, UN Squadron for the Super NES. Now, those of you who follow me on Twitter know that I have been playing this and took a couple of screenshots, and man, is this game hard. It's quite difficult, and it's going to require a lot of practice, and it also seems like because of the enemy waves and sort of the way that they're structured, a lot of memorization. I have tried with all three of the crafts, or all three of the pilots, I should say, and they all play a little bit differently, so it'll be interesting to kind of mess around with that and see how that works over time. But UN Squadron for Super NES, finally have this heavy hitter shoot 'em up in my collection. Very glad to have it. A shout out, want to give a shout out to Single Banana on Twitter. He hooked me up with this and was gracious enough to not only send me this very clean cart that he discovered for me, but also the nice dust protector. So very glad to finally have that. The other item that I got in the mail this week is a Sega Genesis game that I've been wanting for quite some time. Haven't seen it in the wild for a long while. And, it's one of those that I should have picked up when it was $10 back in the day, but alas, that's how it works. So, Ranger X. And if you notice, here at the bottom it says not for resale, and I'm not sure why that is, but the cart, as you can see, has a not for resale sticker as well, but it's got a really nice clean manual, looks in very good shape, a little crease in it but not too bad, otherwise clean. Hang tab on the top is always a bonus. I'm not really specific about that, but I always like to see it because it's nice. It's a bonus, like I said. So anyway, very glad to have this. It says Sega Arcade Pad recommended. I don't have a 6-button pad, but I do have a 6-button joystick. So I suppose I better break that out in order to play this game. But looking forward to giving this a shot. So those are the mail arrivals from the last few days. Now let's get on to the meat and potatoes, which is stuff I picked up while I was out today. So first and foremost, I went to Target because they were running a special, or are running a special, as of the recording of this video through the 17th of September, where you can get 50% off on PlayStation TV. So I thought, why not? If I can pick one up cheap, I'll do that. So I contacted the Target closest to me. They said they had one in stock, so I went over there, and it's not the simple setup. It's the full bundle with the Lego, the movie, the game, digital download code, and it includes the memory card and also the controller. Well, I already have 4 PS3 controllers, and I already have the Lego movie game on Wii U. Not that I wouldn't mind another version of it, but I don't want a digital download code for something. I'd rather have the physical copy. So, and it was still priced at $100. So I thought, well, even 50% off of that is still only $50, and I almost would rather wait until I can pick one up in the aftermarket cheaper than that. So instead, what I got was Rayman Legends for Wii U. They had this on clearance, and so it's as cheap as I've ever seen it, and of course it's still in the plastic, which means it's new and untouched. So very glad to finally have that. This game has been highly lauded, and so I look forward to checking that out. I went to a game store that I like to hit when I'm in that community, and unfortunately their prices have just over the last couple of years become somewhat untenable. I say that with the knowledge that I am, of course, a huge cheapskate, and I try to do all of my game collecting as inexpensively as possible. But when they're charging lots of money for games that are in pretty poor condition, regardless of rarity, it's not something that I want to pay. But I found this, and I thought this was a good price. This is Arcade Classic 3, Galaga and Galaxian. Of course, Galaga is one of those games that I can't get enough of over the years, and I've played it to death, and I'm going to continue to play it to death because it's such a great game. And the great thing is this has got Super Game Boy support, and so I look forward to plugging that into the old Super NES and seeing what that's like. So that was my one pickup from the game store in that community. Now then, after I hit that store and got a little bit of lunch, I went over to the Goodwill, and they had a few games, mostly really common stuff, but they had one title that I thought I'd probably better pick up, and that is Kingdom Under Fire: The Crusaders. There, I guess, I think 2 or 3 of the games in this series, this Kingdom Under Fire series, released for the Xbox. But looks cool, big battle game. Does support, no, I guess it doesn't support HD TV, never mind. But anyway, looks pretty good, like good graphics for the Xbox, of course. So have to check that one out. Now on to, this is the last store that I visited, but I only picked up 2 things, so I'll show them next. I frequent a store, or I have been frequenting a store in my area called Hastings Entertainment. And for those of you familiar, you'll know that unfortunately they are going out of business. They've been around for a long time, and for whatever reason, they just can't make ends meet anymore. So they're liquidating their inventory and starting to sell everything off at deep discounts. And so they're selling off new games at 40% off. So I picked up 2 items. I got Batman Arkham Origins for Wii U. So now I have all 3 of the Batman Arkham trilogy games that came out for that generation, or I guess the previous generation. Arkham City, I have the Arkham City Game of the Year edition on PS3, and then I've got Arkham Asylum Game of the Year edition on PS3, Arkham City Armored Edition for Wii U, and now Arkham Origins for Wii U. So when I actually get around to playing these, I can choose if I want to play them in the release order, or if I want to actually do them in chronological order according to the story, which would be this one, then Asylum, then City. So I'll make that decision at some point later, but glad to have that at a discount. And I also finally jumped onto the Mighty No. 9 train. I know a lot of people have been slagging this game online and saying pretty poor things about it. I didn't back the Kickstarter, so I didn't have a lot of expectations for it, other than it would be somewhat Mega Man-esque. But I didn't really have that expectation that it was going to be a clone, or that it was going to be basically, hey, it's a new Mega Man game, except this is not Mega Man. But anyway, I've read a couple of reviews that basically said that if you go in expecting a Mega Man game, you'll be disappointed. But if you go in just expecting a good old school platformer with interesting mechanics and stuff like that, it's a good time. And really, when you're talking about gaming, that's what you're looking for, right? A good time. So if I can have a good time with this, and I can do it on the cheap since I picked it up 40% off, why not? So I look forward to checking that one out. Now we'll move on to the other game store that I generally like to frequent a lot. And you'll see a recurring theme on my pickups videos, in that I'm continuing to grab sleeves. I usually grab a 5-pack of NES cart sleeves most every time I'm in there. I don't know why I'm doing it. I'm just buying NES cart sleeves so that I can have dust covers for all of my NES carts. I'm a weirdo, I know, but that's okay. I picked up a ColecoVision cart while I was in there. Those of you who've seen a previous video know that I recently acquired a ColecoVision, and one of the games that came with it was Donkey Kong Jr., and so now I have the original Donkey Kong. We'll see how it compares to the 2600 version, which I played as a kid and enjoyed. It's reasonably good for the 2600, just like the 2600 version of Mario Brothers. So we'll see how the Coleco version stacks up. And then the clerk, who's a buddy of mine, told me that they were doing a sale on PS2 and original Xbox games, and they were 50% off. So kind of hard to pass that up. So I got Nina Williams' Death by Degrees. I saw a review of this a while back, and it kind of indicated that it's a little quirky and the control can take some getting used to, but it's actually a pretty fun game. I've been curious about it for a while, so I decided to get it. And then this version comes with not only the game itself, but then it also has a Tekken 5 demo disc. Now, I have Tekken 5, but that's always a nice bonus to get extra material like that. The other PS2 game I picked up is The Adventures of Cookie and Cream. Now, it looks like a cutesy kids game, but everyone who I've talked to or tweets that I've read and people that have done video reviews of this, almost everyone has universally lauded this game and said this is a fun game despite the kiddie look, that it's just lots of fun to play. So for $5 at half off, absolutely. I also picked up some Xbox games on the cheap. Been kind of eyeing this one for a while, Otogi, Myth of Demons, and so I finally picked that up dirt cheap. I got a copy of 13, which I didn't have, and have been curious about because of the sort of cel-shaded art style and somewhat comic book-esque kind of presentation. I got Far Cry Instincts. I have a couple of Far Cry games I picked up for the 360 not too long ago, so might as well pick this one up as well. This one supports HD TV 480p, so that's nice since I've got my Xbox hooked up to my HD TV via component cables. And then I got Van Helsing. I know the movie was kind of panned, but it was fun for what it was. Hugh Jackman and the whole vampire hunter thing. It was fun. This one also supports 480p, so looks like it's at least got good graphics. We'll see what the gameplay is like. It's probably just a simple hack and slash, but I enjoy that. And my final batch I'll show you is the stuff I got at the pawn shop today. Those of you who have been watching my pickups either with photo posts on Twitter or my pickups videos knows that I've been getting Xbox and PS2 games from the pawn shop for a long time. That has started to dry up. There are fewer people trading in or selling off, pawning PS2 and Xbox games, but now it's starting to kind of shift toward last gen, so we're starting to see more PS3 and Xbox 360 stuff come in, and they're starting to sell those off a little cheaper. So I got a discount on a bunch of stuff because I bought in, I guess, more in bulk today. But the first thing that caught my eye was actually Road Rash for the PlayStation. Of course, the greatest hits version. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, that this is the same version of Road Rash that was on the 3DO. I also have Road Rash 3D, and I can't remember the name of it, but at the last one in the series, I think, that had sort of the big burly Harley biker that you think of on the cover. I don't remember the name of it, but I believe this version is the same one that came out on the Panasonic 3DO, and so that'd be cool because apparently that's a good version of the game. They had one PSP game that I saw and was one I didn't have, and that's Need for Speed Most Wanted 510. Slowly building my PSP set, and I'm doing a full, complete set. So I got to have manuals and discs in good shape. The UMD cases don't necessarily all have to be in prime condition, but I'm trying to do that as much as I can. And then I also grabbed a PlayStation 3 game that I've been wanting for a while, one that I just haven't seen in the wild for cheap, and that is Heavenly Sword. This is one of the earlier titles, I believe, and I'm not sure if this also came out on Xbox 360. I want to say maybe it did, but it was an exclusive to the PS3 for a little while. But there's actually a movie, I guess a straight-to-video type movie that came out, all digital like the game, CG characters and everything, that's been on Netflix, and I've watched that. It's all right, it's an okay story, so we'll check that out. And then they had a bunch of 360 games that I got, so I'll just kind of flip through these quick. I got Alan Wake. That's I guess a highly lauded game, supposedly a good story. Not very long, but apparently it's a really good story. So glad to have that one. I have my first Dragon Age game. I got Origins, and all of these are complete. I always buy nothing but complete games when I go to the pawn shop, so I can maximize my value. I picked up Prototype. That looks pretty cool. I've heard good things about the Crackdown games. Of course, much different than the Sega Genesis Crackdown game that came out many, many years ago, but I've heard good things about this series. I got Ace Combat 6 because why not? I've picked up a bunch of the other Ace Combat games over the last year, so might as well. Medal of Honor Airborne, which looks like it's a combination of standard FPS gameplay and then possibly some flight. I don't know. We'll see. I picked up the 360 version of Star Wars The Force Unleashed, so now I have the Wii version, the PSP version, and the Xbox 360 version. I think I mentioned that in my last pickups video that I didn't have either of the true HD versions of the game. So now I've got the 360 version, and let's see here. It says 720p, 1080i, and 1080p. So I've got 720p on my set that my 360's on, so I'll do that. The couple of these quickly. Modern Warfare 3. I've got the Wii version already, but now I've got an HD version. And Assassin's Creed Brotherhood. It's my second Assassin's Creed game on the 360. The other one I grabbed is, I don't remember, but it's the other one that's not a numbered release. And so, like I say, when you can get them dirt cheap, why not? The one I was most excited to find is Star Ocean: The Last Hope. Now, I know that the last couple Star Ocean games haven't been as well loved as the originals, but and I know I pick up an RPG and I don't have a ton of time to play games, so I'm just kicking myself in the foot by adding a monster like this to my backlog. But this is one of those where, because of the type of game it is and because this kind of thing will go for more money in the future, if I never get around to playing it but I find somebody who really wants it and it can make a good home, maybe I can use it as a trade or something. So anyway, but this is cool because it's complete. I got the warranty card, the nice thick manual with lots of pages, and of course the game itself, which comes on 3 discs. So I got all 3 discs. They're all in very, very good shape. There's not any blemishes on them at all. So whoever had this took good care of it, and I'm guessing, because I only can speculate, that they were probably not terribly happy to have to pawn this for whatever reason. That, or they played it and enjoyed it and just took really good care of it. But the guy at the pawn shop told me that a lot of the games I picked up, or all the games I picked up, came in from a large lot that they got into the store the previous day and literally just put out this morning. So I came at the right time and was able to score big. So that's all I've got for you today. I should have another video here within the next week or so because I've got some stuff coming in the mail, and I probably won't have an opportunity to go out and do actual game hunting, but I will have a package full of stuff to show you hopefully in the next week or so. Until next time, thanks for watching, thanks for playing, and game on.